I have had a Nintendo Switch 2 since launch, and there have been some controversies surrounding the system, like Mario Kart World being overpriced, Nintendo charging for an instruction manual, and game cards still tasting like ass. One of the most controversial things with this console has been the game key cards, which are Switch game cards that don't have any game data on them. They download the game from a server, but you have to have them in your console to play the game. So basically, it's a digital game that you have to have a game card in to actually be able to play. And I'm actually kind of grateful to game key cards, and the reason for that is when third parties and even first parties decide to release game key cards, it saves me money because I don't buy them. Because I see no reason to. I don't want them on my shelf, I just want regular games. I don't really see much of a point to game key cards. I do understand why a lot of publishers are going for them. For example, there are some games that are too big to fit on a standard game card, and for those, I'm not that upset about. It's a decent alternative to the code-in-a-box situation, which we had plenty of on the original Switch, but even then, I didn't really see much of a point. But, at least for these, having it on your shelf, having something to put in, I feel like it's a little bit more justified, rather than keeping a game case for a code that you're just going to throw away. At least with the game key card, you have something that you're going to hold on to because you'll need it to play the game. So I'm not going to complain way too much about games like Final Fantasy VII and a few other games that are definitely way too big to fit on a standard game card. However, there are a lot of third parties that are going for this format to save money, and these games are well under the file size limit. And doing it like this leads to people like me not buying these games. Because at the end of the day, they are digital games and not true physical. Digital games pretending to be physical. If I wanted to buy a digital game on my Switch 2, I would just go to the Switch 2 eShop. It's really that easy. Honestly, the only people game key cards really appeal to are people that don't really care. Because you do have people that are pretty loud about their hatred for game key cards, and they absolutely refuse to buy them, and in some cases they're quote-unquote sucking it up when they have to. And the thing is, with people that aren't bothered by game key cards, they're just gonna buy them alongside the regular game cards. So I don't really know of anybody buying game key cards that's buying game key cards exclusively. They're just gonna mix them in with regular Switch 2 game cards. Whereas other people that hate the Switch 2 game key cards, they're just not gonna be buying the game key cards unless they really feel like they have to. As for me, I'm one of the people that's absolutely refusing to buy them, and for the most part, a lot of these games, I'm not even going to give them the benefit of a digital purchase, unless, it is a game I really want to play on my Switch 2 or just have access to. I was originally just going to say no entirely, but, Persona 3 Reload on my Switch 2, sure, but I'm not doing that with a game key card, so just digital for me. And of course, people bring up the benefits these things have, being able to trade, sell, let friends borrow them. But the thing is, as a game collector, I've got no interest in selling my games. As for, being able to trade or let friends borrow, you can technically do that with, a normal digital game, even if it is limited. And, if I was going to let a friend borrow a physical game, I would prefer they be able to just run it right away and not have any updates to anything to install. And, if they're gonna wait on anything for a while, it would make more sense that, I just send them the virtual game card and it's just a pure digital game. So the arguments for why game key cards are beneficial don't actually work on me. If they work for you, cool, but I'm not really interested in these. Because, the thing is, a lot of the games that are opting for this format are games that shouldn't be using this format, and that's why people in my shoes that actually care about physical games are getting so upset about them. And I'll be honest, I have purchased a ton of digital games over the years. Not just on Steam. The majority of my 3DS library is digital. For a few years of owning the original Switch, I bought a ton of digital games. Some of them I've actually started buying physical copies for. And then, negative benefits of doing the game key card format, well, they do have a bit of an effect on sales, as much as game key card defenders like to deny it. Because, if you look at the games that are sold actually on the card and games that are sold as a game key card, the game key cards, well, they might sell decently, but they'd sell a little better if they were actually on the card, because people like me aren't buying them. However, if they were on the card, people that are okay with game key cards and people that hate them, both types of people would be buying the game anyways. So that's what I mean when I say the sales would at least be a little bit better. Of course, I know there are times where it's not going to matter all too much, like with Pokemon Pokopia, because Pokemon's really popular. Didn't matter it was a game key card, it sold really well. I knew it was going to sell well. Sold better than I thought it would, but I'm not really that surprised. But the thing is, with Pokopia, I just feel like they underestimated the demand for it. They should know Pokemon is popular. It was gonna sell, so they could have afforded to put it on a card. So, it's a little frustrating there. But, if you got Pokopia as a game key card, okay, I'm not gonna condemn you for it or anything. You just enjoy Pokopia. And, if they don't do a reprint or anything where they actually put it on a card, I'd probably just either wait and get a regular digital purchase or just not buy it at all. At the end of the day, we're different people, and we're not going to decide for each other how we're spending our money. You spend money on what you want, I'll spend money on what I want. In conclusion, game key cards.